This is analysis of the energy sector. Analysis of Chevron, Exxon, and XLE, the energy ETF. This is Katie Anagosto, so she's going to apply that analysis from info from our new cycle low timing tracker, which is now in beta. This is a great tool that we have, and Katie's going to demo that for you right now and use that information as she looks at this energy sector.
Hi, this is Katie with askSlim. We're noticing some possible short side opportunities setting up in some of the energy sector stocks on our focus list, namely Chevron, ExxonMobil, and the energy ETF XLE, of which Chevron and Exxon make up greater than 43%. So let's take a quick look at those charts. This is the weekly chart of Chevron, and we have been in this very bullish cycle and now starting to consolidate sideways. There's a weekly cycle timing window starting next week and running through the end of May. This is a period of time when we would expect this current cycle to make its low. Switching over to the daily chart, notice that this last cycle was very bullishly configured and then retraced down into the top of the support zone. Normally, under such conditions, we would expect the next cycle to be able to take out the prior cycle high. But this cycle and the next correspond with the timing window that we just saw on the weekly chart when we would expect an intermediate term low to form. The cycles are what we call in sync. In sync cycles in general are expected to show weakness, possibly failed rallies, even breakdowns. And notice that this current cycle is exhibiting some of that. It did not make a new high, and it has been struggling in the resistance zone. We're now approaching the daily cycle timing window, which runs from 411 to 421. Now, because this is the first of two cycles that are in sync with the weekly cycle timing window, we could get our intermediate term low in this one or the next one. The energy sector has been strong in general, so we're not looking for a downside collapse. As a matter of fact, the sideways price movement is telling us that there's downward pressure going into the end of the cycle, but also still enough upward pressure to prevent a significant decline so far. Looking at XOM, you'll see the same thing. Here is the weekly chart with the cycle timing window beginning next week. Notably on XOM, you will notice that the reversal scout, which is our momentum indicator, has flattened out somewhat more than on Chevron. And here is the daily chart. It shows price action very similar to Chevron, failure to make a higher high in this cycle, struggling in the resistance zone, and just moving sideways, approaching its daily cycle timing window. And finally, here is the weekly chart of XLE. Again, the cycle timing window begins next week. And you'll notice here, as with all of these symbols, that we're not projecting an enormous decline, only to the top of the support zone at about the 38.2% fib. That is around $69 for XLE. We're currently trading at 76.5. And XLE's daily chart is very similar to Chevron and ExxonMobil. Several weeks ago, we launched a new tool at askSlim called the Cycle Low Timing Tracker. It's designed to identify symbols on our focus list that are in these cycle timing windows when we might find reversal or continuation opportunities. But in addition to that, there is also a section where we identify symbols that are maybe not yet in the cycle timing window, but approaching it and expected to show weakness. Here are Chevron, ExxonMobil, and the XLE, all in the in sync section of the cycle low timing tracker. So Chevron, XOM, XLE all entering weekly cycle timing windows next week and in the first of two daily cycles that correspond with that. So we'll be watching for some weakness and relatively minor corrections to the tops of their respective weekly support zones. Subsequent to that, those symbols will appear in other sections of the cycle low timing tracker to highlight those other opportunities as they come out of cycle low timing. Thanks for listening and have a great day.